Are you totally confused about what to eat? Like, should I have carbs? Do I need fiber? Do I have to have fats? Protein? Like, my gosh, I understand why you're confused, because why wouldn't you be? All the stuff we're hearing these days is telling us you can't have carbs, you can't have this, and paleo, all those crazy ways. And to be honest with you, I'm all about everything in moderation is the key to good health and weight loss. So I want to tell you how you can manage all those food groups to make you fabulous. Because I think it's really important if you think about what fats are you eating, because there's so many bad fats out there. So it's not about focusing on all the fats, but the saturated fats are the ones you want to really avoid as much as you can. If you look at a low-fat diet, I think it really helps with weight loss. So that's one pivotal part of it. And I know that, you've got my recipe book, so they really help you understand how to do low-fat cooking. So that's really important. The next thing that you focus on is the carbohydrates, because that's something that's really on everybody's minds right now. Like, gosh, should I have rice? Can I have bread? Forget pasta. They're all evil. Well, they're not. I love rice. I mean, I'm sorry, but a curry is fabulous with rice, isn't it? It's how much you have of it. So if you're ladling out a whole big plate of rice for the curry, it's too much. For myself, when I was losing weight, I would have half a cup of cooked basmati rice. And now on maintenance, I have about 3/4 of a cup. And that's for women. For men, about 1 cup. So you can see it's really important to think about how much of that rice do you have, because carbohydrates are such an important part of our wellness. For example, carbohydrates nurture and keep the brain alert and happy. And it also gives you energy. And I know so many people that tell me when they go on low carb diets, they just yawn all day long and they're so tired. And I go, well, that's because your body is needing to be refueled. And one of the ways you can do that is with healthy carbs. So, I mean, there's complex carbs that are perfect, like your grains, pasta, potatoes, things like that. And let's talk about the little potato here, because people go, oh no, I can't do potato anymore, it's carbohydrate. Well, I'm telling you now, the humble spud is okay. It's what you do with it. So if you cut it up into shoestring chips and deep fry it, yeah, it's not going to help you lose weight or be healthy. So it's about how you cook it, how you present it, and that will really help you understand the choices you're making from now on. So think about what is it you do to the healthy food to make it unhealthy. So let's talk about sugar, because I know a lot of people are worried about, should I have any? Well, it's a bit hard not to have sugar in your diet, because, no one can go 100% no sugar, because there's sugar in fruit, but it's a natural sugar. It's the white sugar you've got to be careful of, because if you eat too much of it, it becomes quite acidic in your body, which is certainly not healthy. I always use the ruling, 90% be absolutely healthy and fabulous, and that 10% is your little bit of indulgence. So it's all about the balance. Most of the mistakes made are when we're in the supermarket. So let me help you understand what you should be actually putting in your shopping trolley. So when you first go through into the supermarket, you're faced with all the colour. It's the beautiful fruits and vegetables and salad ingredients, and that's where you really want to bulk up and fill your trolley with lots of that. That's beautiful, natural colour. And then you go to the meat section, the deli, the seafood, like all those things are really good to have. Load your trolley up with that type of food. So when you go further on down the aisle, you'll see lots of processed food. And I think there's lots of claims made on what is healthy. For example, you go down the muesli bar aisle and there's a plethora of choices. Well, what you need to aim for is, when you look at the nutritional panel, that each of the bars have 3 grams of fibre per serve. More than that is fabulous, but that's the minimum. So basically, I've taken out 3/4 of your choices. I know we're very busy people, but really, if you bake and don't buy, often you find that you'll be eating much healthier, because you know what's in the ingredients. A great way to work out how much food you should be having is by counting calories. Look, I know some people go, oh, it's boring, it takes too much work. But in the beginning, it's absolutely the perfect way to understand what you should be eating and how much of it you should be having. Because honestly, if you're on a 1,200 calorie diet, you're going to soon work out if you're overeating. Because, it's all right to say, well, bread has no fat in it, but it does have calories. And so that's where I look at, remember I said before, the fats are really important. And my key to weight loss success was actually looking at the fats, and the calories together. Once you know they're equal and you've got the right amounts, then it really is very easy to lose weight and maintain it. And don't worry too much about protein, because I think we don't need anywhere near as much as people think. You know, I always say to people, try and have more fish in your diet than red meat. And when you think about a serve of meat, it's just a good gauge is to look at your palm of your hand here, chop off your fingers, and that's really how big your serve of meat should be. If you're looking at fish, then it's the whole hand. So you can see you get more fish because it's so much healthier and low in calories as well. If you aim for 40% raw in your diet, you're going to really find that one of the keys to success is you're going to have a higher fibre diet. And that's so important because most Australians are really low on fibre. Just to give you an idea, you should be aiming to about 30 grams of fibre a day. And how you can do that is by eating lots of fruit and vegetables and making sure you eat your fruit with the skin on will help. You know, having the high fibre cereals, adding bran and different things like that to your burgers, like oats to your minced meat and things like that. There's lots of tricks you can do to add fibre, but it's so important if you can because it gives you wonderful bowel health and really sets you up for being the healthy you that you want to be. And finally, let's talk about your dinner plate, because if you're serving up and everyone's dinners look the same, then you're over-serving your kids and possibly yourself. I mean, the man obviously needs more, the woman needs less, and the kids even need less. So really think about what you're serving up. And I can remember, look, I've got an old plate of my mum's, and no wonder they didn't have as much trouble with their obesity issues as we do now, because that plate's quite small. So let me help you to know how to do a plate of today the healthy way. So straight away, I'm going to do a line down the middle. Now, this side here should be filled with lots of vegetables or salad. And then cut the other half in quarter, and this quarter here would be your carbohydrates, you know, your rice, your potato, pasta, things like that. And this quarter here is your protein. So I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about being the healthy, fabulous you. And my final tip is remember everything in moderation is the key to wellness and weight loss success. Bye now.